Welcome to my channel. What if I told you that speaking English is much easier than you've been told? The real problem isn't your grammar or vocabulary. It's the fear of making mistakes. That fear keeps thousands of learners silent every day. But today, that's going to change. In this video, you'll learn simple, practical ways to speak English with more confidence, even if you're a complete beginner. Stay with me until the end, and you'll discover how small daily habits can make a big difference. Now tell me, what is the one thing that scares you the most about speaking English? Let me know in the comments. Chapter 1. The first step is easier than you think. Many people dream of speaking English with confidence. They imagine talking to people from different countries, traveling without fear, getting a better job, or simply understanding movies and videos without subtitles. But when it is time to speak, something stops them. Their heart beats faster, their mind goes blank. They begin to think, what if I say the wrong word? What if people laugh at me? What if my English is not good enough? If these thoughts sound familiar, you are not alone. Millions of English learners feel exactly the same way. The good news is that this feeling does not mean you cannot learn English. It only means you are afraid of making mistakes. Today, I want you to see something important. Speaking English is not as difficult as it seems. In fact, the first step is much easier than you think. You do not need perfect grammar. You do not need thousands of vocabulary words. You only need the courage to start with the English you already know. Think about how children learn their first language. They do not begin by reading grammar books or memorizing long lists of words. They learn by listening, copying, and speaking little by little. At first, they make many mistakes. They forget words. They pronounce things incorrectly. Sometimes nobody understands them, but they never stop trying. Every mistake teaches them something new, and little by little they become better speakers. Learning English works the same way. You do not become confident first and then start speaking. You become confident because you keep speaking. Every small conversation is another step forward. Every sentence you say helps your brain remember words more easily. Even simple sentences like, I am happy today, I like reading books, or the weather is nice, are valuable practice. They may seem small, but small steps repeated every day create big results over time. Now imagine two English learners. The first learner spends hours studying grammar, watching lessons, and reading books, but never speaks because they are waiting to become perfect. The second learner knows only a few simple words but speaks a little every day. They talk to themselves, repeat sentences aloud, practice with ChatGPT, or speak with a friend. After a few months, who do you think speaks better? Most of the time, it is the second learner. Why? Because speaking is a skill, just like riding a bicycle or learning to swim. You cannot master it only by watching other people. You must practice it yourself. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. You may make mistakes, forget words, or stop in the middle of a sentence. That is completely normal. Every fluent English speaker has experienced those same moments. The difference is that they kept going instead of giving up. Starting today, I want you to make one small promise to yourself. Stop waiting for the perfect moment because it does not exist. Start speaking with the English you already know. When you wake up in the morning, describe your day in simple English. While making breakfast, name the foods you see. When you walk outside, describe the weather, the trees, the cars, or the people around you. If you do not know a word, do not worry. Use another word or keep your sentence simple. The goal is not to sound perfect. The goal is to build the habit of speaking every single day. Even 5 or 10 minutes of daily practice can change your confidence much more than hours of silent study. Little by little, you will notice that forming sentences becomes easier. You will stop translating every word in your head, and English will begin to feel more natural. This journey is not about becoming perfect overnight. It is about becoming a little better every day. Some days you will feel confident, and other days you may struggle. That is part of learning. Do not compare yourself with fluent speakers who have practiced for years. Compare yourself only with the person you were yesterday. If you know one new word today, that is progress. If you speak one more sentence today than yesterday, that is success. Every small effort brings you closer to your goal. As we continue, you will discover one surprising truth that changes the way successful learners think. In the next chapter, you will learn why making mistakes is not something to fear but one of the fastest and most powerful ways to become a confident English speaker. Chapter 2. Mistakes are your best teacher. There is one mistake that almost every English learner makes before they even start speaking. It is not a grammar mistake or a pronunciation mistake. It is believing that mistakes are something to avoid. Many learners stay quiet because they are afraid of saying the wrong word or using the wrong tense. They think people will judge them or laugh at them, but the truth is very different. Every mistake is a lesson. Every time you make a mistake, your brain gets a chance to learn something new. That is how real progress happens. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. Did you learn without falling? Probably not. You fell, stood up, and tried again. Speaking English follows the same path. If you never make mistakes, it probably means you are not practicing enough. Instead of seeing mistakes as a sign of failure, start seeing them as proof that you are learning. The more you speak, the more mistakes you will make, and the more you will improve. That is not something to fear, it is something to celebrate. Imagine that you want to learn how to cook a new meal. The first time, you might add too much salt or cook something for too long. The meal may not taste perfect, but the next time you remember what to change. After practicing several times, you can cook it without thinking too much. English works in exactly the same way. Your first conversations may feel slow and uncomfortable. You may forget words or stop in the middle of a sentence. Sometimes you will realize your mistake only after the conversation ends. That is completely normal. Do not let these moments make you feel disappointed. Instead, smile and think, "Now I know how to say it better next time." This simple change in thinking can completely change your learning journey. Successful English learners are not people who never make mistakes. They are people who never let mistakes stop them from trying again. Here is a simple challenge you can start today. Every day, speak English for at least 5 or 10 minutes without worrying about being perfect. Talk to yourself while getting ready in the morning. Describe what you're doing, what you see, or how you feel. If you have a speaking partner, have a short conversation. If you use ChatGPT, practice simple daily dialogues. When you make a mistake, do not stop the conversation. Finish your thought first. Then, if possible, learn the correct sentence and repeat it a few times. This method helps your brain remember the correct pattern naturally. You will notice something amazing after a few weeks. The mistakes you made before will happen less often because your brain has already learned from them. Little by little, your confidence will grow, not because you became perfect, but because you became comfortable with learning. Remember, nobody speaks perfectly all the time. Even native speakers forget words, pronounce things incorrectly, or make grammar mistakes during everyday conversations. The difference is that they keep talking instead of worrying about every small error. You can do the same. Give yourself permission to be a beginner. Every expert was once a beginner who refused to quit. Every confident speaker was once nervous. Every fluent person once struggled to form simple sentences. Your journey is not different. It simply begins with one brave decision to keep speaking, even when you feel uncertain. One day, you will look back and realize that the mistakes you feared the most became the stepping stones that helped you speak English with confidence. In the next chapter, You will discover a simple daily habit that can improve your English much faster than studying for hours without speaking. Chapter 3: Small daily practice creates big results. Success in English does not come from studying for one long day. It comes from practicing a little every single day. Many learners believe they need hours of free time to improve, but that is not true. Even 10 or 15 minutes of focused practice can make a big difference. Imagine planting a small seed in a garden. You do not pour a year's worth of water on it in one day and expect it to grow overnight. Instead, you give it a little water every day. Slowly, the seed becomes a healthy plant. Learning English works in the same way. Every time you listen to English, speak a few sentences, read a short story, or learn a new word, you are helping your English grow. The changes may seem small at first, but after weeks and months of daily practice, you will be surprised by how much you have improved. The secret is not studying harder. The secret is staying consistent, even on busy days. Think about your daily routine. You already have small moments that you can use to practice English. When you wake up, greet yourself in English. While brushing your teeth, describe what you are doing. During breakfast, name the foods on your table. If you're walking outside, talk about the weather, the people, or the buildings you see. Before going to bed, spend a few minutes thinking about your day in simple English. These activities do not require extra time because they fit naturally into your daily life. At first, your sentences may be short and simple, and that is perfectly fine. Saying, "I am drinking tea," or "Today is sunny," may seem easy, but these simple sentences build the strong foundation you need for longer conversations. The more often you use English in real life, the more natural it begins to feel. Instead of treating English as a school subject, start making it part of your everyday routine. Another powerful habit is speaking out loud every day. Many learners read English silently, but rarely move their lips. This is one reason they understand English but struggle to speak it. Your brain and your mouth need to work together. Reading aloud helps improve your pronunciation, speaking speed, and confidence. You can read a short story, a simple article, or even the subtitles from a video. If you use ChatGPT, practice short conversations about daily topics such as shopping, hobbies, travel, or family. Do not worry if you need to stop and think. That is part of the learning process. The important thing is to keep speaking. Every sentence you say trains your brain to think in English instead of translating from your native language. Over time, you will notice that words come to your mind more quickly, and conversations become smoother. These small improvements may not feel exciting every day, but together they create amazing progress. Always remember that learning English is a journey, not a race. Some days you will feel confident, and other days you may feel like you are not improving at all. Do not let those difficult days make you quit. Progress is often invisible until you look back. One day, you will understand a movie scene that once seemed impossible. You will answer a question in English without translating. You will have a conversation that feels natural, and you will realize how far you have come. Those moments are created by the small choices you make every day. Keep showing up, even if your practice is short. Keep speaking, even if your sentences are simple. Every word you learn and every sentence you say brings you one step closer to becoming a confident English speaker. In the next chapter, you will discover why thinking in English instead of translating every word can completely transform the way you speak. Chapter 4: Stop translating and start thinking in English. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to speak English is not because they lack vocabulary or grammar. It is because they try to translate every word from their native language into English before they speak. This takes time, creates confusion, and makes conversations feel slow and stressful. By the time you finish translating in your mind, the conversation may have already moved on. That is why many learners understand English, but still find it difficult to answer simple questions quickly. The good news is that you do not have to translate forever. You can train your brain to think directly in English, and once you begin doing this, speaking becomes much easier and more natural. It does not happen overnight, but with regular practice, your mind will slowly become comfortable using English without needing your first language every time. The best way to start thinking in English is to keep your thoughts simple. You do not need to create long or complicated sentences. Begin with the small things around you. When you wake up, think, I am awake. While making breakfast, think, I am making coffee. If you look outside and see rain, tell yourself, it is raining today. These short sentences may seem too easy, but they are powerful because they teach your brain to connect ideas directly with English words. Soon you will notice that these simple thoughts come naturally without translation. As your confidence grows, you can make your sentences longer. Instead of saying, I am eating lunch, you can say, I am eating lunch because I have a busy afternoon. Step by step, your English thinking will become stronger, and speaking will feel much more comfortable. Another helpful habit is to describe everything you see during your day. If you are walking to work or school, quietly name the things around you in English. Look at a tree and think, the tree is very tall. See a bus and think, the bus is full of people. If you enter a supermarket, name the fruits, vegetables, and other items in English. This simple exercise teaches your brain to use English naturally in real-life situations. You can also practice with ChatGPT by having short conversations about your daily activities, your hobbies, or your plans for the weekend. The more you use English in everyday situations, the less you will depend on translating. At first, your brain may still switch back to your native language, and that is completely normal. Do not get frustrated. Gently return to English and keep practicing. Every small effort is helping your brain build a new habit. Remember, becoming fluent is not about speaking quickly. It is about speaking naturally and confidently. Every time you think in English instead of translating, you are taking another step toward fluency. Be patient with yourself because changing the way your brain works takes time. Some days will feel easier than others, but every day you practice is another day of progress. One morning, you will suddenly realize that you answered a question in English without translating first. That small moment will show you that your hard work is paying off. Keep going, keep practicing, and trust the process. In the next chapter, you will learn how listening like a child can improve your pronunciation, vocabulary, and speaking skills faster than you ever imagined. Chapter 5. Listen like a child. Speak with confidence. One simple habit can change the way you learn English, and that habit is listening. Many learners spend most of their time studying grammar and memorizing vocabulary, but they do not listen to enough real English. As a result, they know many words but struggle to understand native speakers or speak naturally. Think about how children learn their first language. Before they speak clearly, they spend months and even years listening to the people around them. They hear the same words, phrases, and expressions again and again. Slowly, their brains begin to recognize patterns, and speaking becomes natural. You can learn English in a very similar way. The more English you listen to, the more familiar the language becomes. You begin to recognize common expressions, improve your pronunciation, and understand how words are connected in real conversations. Listening is not just about hearing sounds, it is about training your brain to think and respond in English. The good news is that you do not need difficult materials to improve your listening skills. Start with simple English that matches your level. Listen to short stories, beginner conversations, podcasts, or YouTube videos made for English learners. Choose topics that interest you because learning becomes easier when you enjoy the content. At first, you may not understand every word, and that is perfectly normal. Do not stop the audio every few seconds to look up new vocabulary. Instead, try to understand the main idea. Listen again if necessary. Every time you repeat the same audio, your brain notices new words and expressions that you missed before. You will be surprised by how much more you understand after listening to the same lesson several times. This repeated exposure helps new vocabulary stay in your memory much longer than simply reading a word from a list. Listening becomes even more powerful when you combine it with speaking. After listening to a short conversation or story, pause the audio and repeat what you hear. Try to copy the speaker's pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. Do not worry if your accent is different. Your goal is to speak clearly, not perfectly. You can also read the transcript aloud while listening if one is available. This simple exercise helps your ears, eyes, and mouth work together, making it easier to remember new words and sentence patterns. If you use ChatGPT as your English practice partner, ask it to create short conversations on everyday topics such as shopping, travel, work, or hobbies. Read the conversations aloud, answer the questions, and practice until speaking feels comfortable. The more you listen and repeat, the more confident you become. Little by little, English will begin to sound familiar instead of confusing. Always remember that progress takes time, but every minute you spend listening is an investment in your future. There will be days when you understand only a little, and that is okay. Keep listening anyway. Every lesson, every story, and every conversation is helping your brain grow stronger. One day, you will notice that you no longer need subtitles for simple videos. You will understand common expressions without translating them, and speaking will feel much more natural. These small victories are signs that your daily practice is working. Stay patient, trust the process, and keep listening with an open mind. In the next chapter, you will discover how confidence grows through action and why speaking every day is the fastest way to become a fluent English speaker. Chapter 6. Confidence comes from speaking, not waiting. Many people believe that confidence comes first and speaking comes later. They tell themselves, "I will speak English when I feel more confident." But confidence does not work that way. Confidence grows because of action, not before it. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. You do not become confident by reading about bicycles or watching other people ride. You become confident by getting on the bicycle, moving forward, making a few mistakes, and trying again. Speaking English is exactly the same. The first conversation may feel uncomfortable. Your voice may shake, and you may forget simple words. That does not mean you are failing. It means you are learning. Every time you open your mouth and speak, you are training your brain to become stronger. With each conversation, fear becomes smaller, and confidence becomes bigger. The only way to become a confident English speaker is to keep speaking, even when you do not feel completely ready. Imagine two learners who begin their English journey on the same day. The first learner spends months studying grammar books, memorizing vocabulary, and waiting for the perfect moment to speak. The second learner also studies, but every day they practice speaking for 10 or 15 minutes. They talk to themselves, read short stories aloud, answer simple questions, and practice conversations with ChatGPT or a language partner. After 6 months, who do you think speaks more naturally? In most cases, it is the second learner. Why? Because speaking is a practical skill. Just as a musician improves by playing an instrument and an athlete improves by training regularly, an English learner improves by speaking regularly. Knowledge is important, but practice turns knowledge into real communication. Every short conversation teaches you something that no textbook can. It teaches you how to think quickly, how to express your ideas, and how to stay calm even when you make mistakes. One of the easiest ways to build confidence is to create a daily speaking habit. You do not need a classroom or a native speaker to begin. You can practice almost anywhere. When you wake up, greet yourself in English. While preparing breakfast, describe what you are doing. Look in the mirror and introduce yourself as if you were meeting someone for the first time. Talk about your plans for the day, your hobbies, or your favorite movie. If you use ChatGPT, ask simple questions and answer them aloud instead of only reading the replies. Record your voice on your phone and listen to it later. At first, you may notice mistakes or feel embarrassed, but that feeling will slowly disappear. Instead of criticizing yourself, celebrate the fact that you are practicing. Every recording is proof that you are improving. After a few weeks, compare your new recordings with your old ones. You will hear clearer pronunciation, smoother sentences, and greater confidence. These small improvements will motivate you to keep going. Always remember that nobody becomes fluent overnight. Every confident English speaker once struggled to say simple sentences. They reached their goal because they refused to give up. You have the same ability. Do not wait for fear to disappear before you start speaking because fear becomes weaker only when you face it. Speak even if your sentences are short. Speak even if you make mistakes. Speak even if you have to pause and think. Every word you say is another step toward fluency. Be proud of every small victory, because small victories lead to big success. One day, you will have a conversation that once seemed impossible, and you will realize that confidence was never something you had to find. It was something you built through daily practice. In the next chapter, you will discover how to keep improving your English for life and turn today's small efforts into tomorrow's amazing success. Chapter 7. Your English journey starts today. Every great journey begins with one small step, and your English journey is no different. You do not need to wait until next week, next month, or next year. The best time to improve your English is today. Many learners spend too much time planning and not enough time practicing. They search for the perfect course, the perfect book, or the perfect method. But the truth is that no method will work unless you use it consistently. Success in English is not about being the smartest person in the room. It is about showing up every day, even when you feel tired, busy, or unmotivated. Some days your practice will be exciting, and other days it may feel slow. That is completely normal. What matters is that you keep going. Every page you read, every sentence you speak, every story you listen to, and every conversation you practice is moving you one step closer to your goal. Small daily actions may not seem important today, but over time they create amazing results. Take a moment to imagine your future. Picture yourself speaking English confidently during a job interview, traveling to another country, making friends from around the world, or watching your favorite movies without subtitles. Imagine how proud you will feel when you can express your thoughts clearly without fear. That future is not just a dream. It is possible if you continue practicing every day. The person you want to become is created by the choices you make today. Every time you decide to practice instead of giving up, you are building a stronger version of yourself. Do not compare your progress with someone who has been learning English for many years. Compare yourself only with the person you were yesterday. If you know more words today, understand more sentences today, or feel a little more confident today, then you are already succeeding. Real progress is measured one step at a time. As you continue your learning journey, remember to enjoy the process. Do not study English only because you have to. Study it because it opens new doors and new opportunities. Read stories that make you smile. Watch videos that inspire you. Listen to conversations that teach you something new. Practice speaking about topics you truly enjoy, whether it is sports, cooking, travel, music, or your daily life. The more you connect English with things you love, the easier it becomes to stay motivated. Celebrate every achievement, no matter how small it seems. Celebrate understanding a new word, finishing a short story, speaking for 5 minutes without stopping, or having your first conversation in English. These moments are proof that you are growing. Remember that every fluent speaker once stood exactly where you are now. They kept learning, kept practicing, and never stopped believing that improvement was possible. Now it is your turn to take the next step. Do not let fear, doubt, or perfectionism hold you back any longer. Believe in your ability to learn because you are capable of much more than you think. Speak a little every day. Listen carefully. Read often. Think in English whenever you can. Most importantly, never be afraid to make mistakes, because every mistake brings you closer to success. 1 year from now, you will thank yourself for starting today instead of waiting for the perfect moment. Keep moving forward with patience, courage, and confidence. Your English journey has already begun, and with every new day, you are becoming a stronger, more confident English speaker. The future you dream about starts with the simple decision to practice today. Chapter 8. Keep going. Even when progress feels slow, there will be days when learning English feels exciting. You will understand a new word, finish a story, or speak a sentence without thinking too much. But there will also be days when it feels like nothing is improving. You may forget words you learned yesterday. You may struggle to understand a simple conversation. You may even wonder if all your hard work is worth it. If that happens, do not lose hope. Every learner experiences these moments. Progress is not always easy to see because your brain is learning little by little every day. Think about a tree growing in a garden. You cannot see it become taller every morning, but after a few months, the change is clear. Your English is growing in the same way. Even when you cannot see the improvement, your brain is building stronger listening, speaking, reading, and thinking skills. The important thing is to keep practicing and trust the process. Sometimes people give up because they compare themselves with others. They watch fluent speakers and think, I will never speak like that. But comparison steals your confidence. Everyone has a different learning journey. Some people have studied English for many years. Others have more opportunities to practice every day. Your journey belongs only to you. Instead of looking at someone else's progress, look at your own. Remember the first day you started learning English. Maybe you knew only a few words. Today, you can understand more, read more, and speak more than before. That is real progress. Celebrate every small success because small successes lead to big achievements. Learning one new phrase today may seem unimportant, but after 1 year, those small lessons become hundreds of new words and expressions. Success is not built in one day. It is built one step at a time. Whenever you feel unmotivated, remind yourself why you started learning English. Maybe you want a better job, dream of traveling the world, hope to study abroad, or simply want to communicate with people from different countries. Keep that reason in your heart because it will help you continue when learning feels difficult. Create a simple daily routine that you can follow even on busy days. Listen to English for 10 minutes, read one short story, speak a few sentences aloud, or practice a conversation with ChatGPT. These small habits may seem simple, but they create lasting results. Never think that one missed day means failure. If you miss a day, simply begin again the next day. What matters is not being perfect. What matters is returning to your practice again and again. Every time you continue instead of quitting, you become stronger, more disciplined, and closer to your goal. One day you will realize that English no longer feels impossible. You will understand conversations more easily, speak with greater confidence, and express your thoughts without so much fear. That moment will not happen because of one perfect lesson. It will happen because you chose to keep going, even when progress felt slow. So believe in yourself, stay patient, and never stop learning. Every sentence you read, every word you speak, and every minute you practice is creating the future you want. Your journey is far from over. In the next chapter, we will bring everything together and discover how to make English a lifelong skill that opens doors to new opportunities, friendships, and experiences. Chapter 9. Your new beginning starts now. Take a moment and think about everything you have learned so far. At the beginning of this journey, speaking English may have felt difficult, confusing, or even impossible. You may have believed that you needed perfect grammar, a large vocabulary, or years of study before you could speak with confidence. But now you know the truth. Real progress does not come from being perfect. It comes from taking small, consistent steps every single day. Every conversation you practice, every story you read, every lesson you listen to, and every mistake you make is helping you become a better English speaker. The journey is not about reaching perfection, it is about becoming more confident than you were yesterday. If you continue practicing with patience and determination, you will be surprised by how much your English changes over the next few months. One day, you will speak naturally without realizing how far you have come. There will still be challenges ahead, and that is completely normal. Some conversations will be easy, while others may test your confidence. There will be new words to learn, different accents to understand, and moments when you cannot find the right sentence. Instead of seeing these challenges as problems, see them as opportunities to grow. Every challenge teaches you something valuable. Every difficult conversation makes the next one a little easier. Remember that even native speakers continue learning new words throughout their lives. Learning a language is not something that ends after a few lessons or even a few years. It is a lifelong journey of growth and discovery. The wonderful part is that every day you continue practicing, English becomes a little more natural and a little more enjoyable. As you move forward, make English a part of your everyday life instead of something you study only once in a while. Read short articles, watch videos you enjoy, listen to podcasts, sing along with English songs, and speak whenever you have the chance. Use English to talk about your hobbies, your family, your dreams, and your daily experiences. If you have nobody to practice with, speak to yourself or use ChatGPT as your conversation partner. The important thing is to keep using the language. Do not be afraid of making mistakes, because every mistake is proof that you are learning. Stay curious, ask questions, and celebrate every small success along the way. One new word, one clear sentence, or one confident conversation is another step toward your goal. Most importantly, believe in yourself. You are capable of learning English, no matter where you started or how many times you have struggled in the past. Your progress may be slow sometimes, but slow progress is still progress. Every minute you spend practicing is an investment in your future. Keep showing up, keep speaking, keep listening, and keep believing that you can improve. The journey to fluency is not about being the fastest learner. It is about being the learner who never gives up. If you continue with patience, courage, and daily practice, your future self will thank you for starting today. This is not the end of your English journey. It is the beginning of a new chapter filled with confidence, opportunities, and endless possibilities. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new English lesson. I'd also love to hear from you. What is the biggest challenge you face when speaking English? And what is one small step you will take today to improve? Share your answer in the comments below. Keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy learning!